morning, everybody. I'm in the car heading over to the other side of Florida right now. Heading to through Alligator Alley. Quite interesting. I haven't seen an alligator yet on Alligator Alley, but apparently before they put the fences up, you were able to see plenty. Not the case anymore. Anyway, day 2 of this, I guess, video, 365 days of video. I'm Michelle Scott. I live in Florida. I was not born and raised here. I am not a true native, but I do love living in the state. I wanted to come on today and have a conversation with you. I was kind of racking my brains today about, what do I want to talk to you about? What should we talk about? Those type of good things. And I got to thinking about the bit of anxiety I was feeling about an event I'm going to this evening. And I just wanted to touch base with you guys and just ask you if you get anxious when you go to events by yourself, or if you will do it, or if you even won't do it, and how do you talk to yourself to get yourself not feeling so anxious about it? Because I personally, very rarely do people believe me, but I'm far more of an introvert than I am an extrovert. I was terribly shy as a child. Hide behind my mother shy, cry if my mom would ask me to go ask for more ketchup at the counter at McDonald's shy. I don't behave in a shy manner anymore, but it doesn't mean that I don't feel shy. Again, feelings are a lie, so you have to press through those. I wanted to touch base on, do you feel like this? Do you ever feel anxious or shy or fearful? And what do? Do you give into that fear, or do you press into that fear and walk through it? I tend to be the person that, in most cases, there's some that I don't think I'm going to be jumping out of an airplane anytime soon. But in most cases, I press through the fear. And I get told all the time, I shouldn't say that, I should stop saying things like all the time. I get told a lot that I seem to be fearless and that I'm not afraid of anything. And I think people that truly know me know this to not be accurate. And I think that people that surface know me think this to be accurate. But it's not true. I am the biggest chicken there is. I am afraid of most things, and I do things anyway. So to me, when people label me as fearless, I cannot own that. I don't own that well. What I would say is I probably have a great deal of courage, and that's learned over time. So it's like courage is not the absence of fear, but it's the presence of fear and pushing through that fear. I know I've heard this before. I don't know who said it. I'm not going to even pretend that I made that up. But, I tend to live my life in the state of I am not going to let fear stop me. In most cases. Now, there's just certain things that, and I should say I'm not going to let fear stop me if I have an interest in doing the activity. If I don't have an interest in doing the activity, I'm not going to push beyond fear because I have no motivation, dedication, or wherewithal to even do that. So I hope we're all on the same page there. But, some, for instances in my life, I learned how to ski as an adult, and I'm terrified of heights. I actually feel a very real gravitational pull when I'm at the edge of tall buildings or tall mountains or what have you. And so I'm just keenly aware of my gravitational pull. And so in the back of my head, there is this just constant alert that's going on that says you're going to fall, or you could fall. And if horrific. So it's never really just like, oh, you could fall down and bump your knee. Like, you could fall down and die. It's kind of how the alert goes off in my head. So I have to push through that. But at the age of, I think I was just right before, it was about a decade ago that I decided to learn how to ski. And I have the most patient person in the world. If you ever want to go to Steamboat Springs and learn how to ski for the first time as an adult, I would highly recommend Laura Fisher. She is a gem. She's a sweetheart. She's the kindest person I know, and the most patient person. She took somebody that was deathly afraid, and once I finally did get on skis and was going like a mile an hour, maybe, I always felt like I was going too fast. But she just had so much patience with me and helped me to become a mildly okay skier. That's not to her fault. It's to her credit, because she was, again, dealing with somebody that was deathly afraid, and she took an entire season of her life on her off days and just, as a friend, took me out with her daughters, and her daughters are incredible skiers. They're now grown, but they were preteen at the time, and oh my goodness, they were just skiing laps around any, moderate skier. They're excellent skiers, and they were all three very patient with me and very kind to me, and we had a lot of good laughs, mostly at my expense, and I was okay with that. But I got to see tops of mountains that I would never see before, or never have seen before, nor would ever be able to see if I didn't just suck it up and go and try and do this. So I have seen the reward that pays off when you are willing to go outside of your comfort zone. And so I'm just interested in knowing, do you guys relate to this? Is this something that you feel and you push through, or are you the type of person that just never goes beyond your fear? If you are that person, I was that person for a long time. I encourage you to start small, but do something that you're afraid of, just so you can see the other side of it, so you can see the reward, and so you can actually teach your brain that fear was a lie, and that you did survive, and you probably thrived, and you probably actually enjoyed yourself. And if you didn't enjoy yourself, at least you can say, I did this in spite of. I did this in spite of the fear that's been lying to me. Because trust me, it's real. I'm going to be heading to this technology happy hour. And mind you, I'm in technology. I've been in sales for a couple of decades, and I'm probably one of the more social people that people know. And I'm constantly asked if I'm the ringleader, or if I lead my social groups, and I can't say that I do anymore. I like to stay home more often than not these days, but at one point I think so. But that's not to say that when I'm not in my comfort zone that I don't have anxiety when it comes to social anxieties. It's easy when you're around everybody that you know, but when you walk into a room of 200 people and you might know 5, and you find yourself in your head telling yourself to calm down, look around, look for the people that look familiar, and don't look like you're desperately looking for the people that look familiar. I don't know who's done this. I can say I have. I hope I'm not the only one. Well, I know I'm not the only one, but I hope I'm not the only one willing to say so. But anyway, that's what I'll be doing today. I do have an advantage. I have a friend that is coming with me, and he'll make things a little bit easier, just because when you walk in with a second person, it helps out a lot. It's almost like a night and day thing. You can walk into a crowd of 200 people with one other person, and you just feel so much more at ease, so much more so much more at ease, but there is something that makes me more, or cower more in a group setting like that. So who knows? Yeah, so I'm excited. Today is the happy hour is being put on by a person that has become a friend of mine. And I'm so glad about that, because in my life, I have a lot of acquaintances, but there's very few people that I would put in my circle of friends, and she's one of them. She's a neat lady that is real and attracts a lot of good people around her, and I love to be around people like that. So they just had a baby, so I think this is her first parental outing without the baby, but I'm not quite sure, so I don't want to say something inaccurate, but I'm just excited to see her. Something else that's kind of cool is her baby was born on Halloween, and she's always loved Halloween because she was born the day before Halloween. And when I went to her baby shower, they had these fun little squares that you could pick a square on the day that they were supposed to be born, and I mean, you put some money in and you win some money, but I know that she loves Halloween so much, so I put down that the baby was going to be born on the morning of Halloween, and the baby was born on the morning of Halloween. And I don't want to give too much information about my friend, because this is a public forum and not everybody wants to be put on that. But I ended up winning the money, which was kind of funny. And I rhymed, and I didn't intend to. But anyway, so what do you guys want to know? Some other ways that I feel anxious. I get really anxious when I try to create a budget, because I also have a innate desire to defy just authority, I guess. And maybe that comes from my ADHD, I don't know, but I have never been one that just accepts authority for authority's sake. Very respectful always, but I'm always questioning. If I can get my head around why an authority figure is asking me to do something, I'm typically pretty well bought in. If I can't get my head around it, I'm constantly questioning it until it sits well with me. So putting together a budget, yeah, that's like me placing myself and authority over myself, and that I want to work on this, I promise you, but I will even define my own wants and desires if I put too many parameters on myself. So this is part of this activity of recording for 365 days, because I'm making a commitment and putting a parameter around myself. Right now, for the next 3 weeks, I've asked myself to wake up by 6 a.m. And even this morning, I was trying to cheat it, and I just kind of laughed as I was lying in bed. I'm like, you're only cheating yourself. Of course you don't have a mom and a dad. You're not going to get grounded. You're not going to get in trouble from work if you're not up at the time that you committed to yourself. You have nobody that's telling you what to do, but you committed to yourself, Michelle. And so on day 2, I tried to break my commitment to myself. So I'm just going to be brutally honest with you guys here. I didn't get married until 5 years ago. My mother, unfortunately, teasingly called me the runaway bride. I accidentally got engaged one other time, and I was previously married, but for a very short period of time in my mid to late 20s. Sorry, that bounced like that. And after that, the commitment, I think the idea of commitment kind of went out the door. I tried it once, I didn't like it, and I don't know. Don't ask me. I'm learning and I'm growing, and if we're not, then shame on us, right? We want to be constantly learning and growing, and I'm okay with that. So here I am at, a decade or so later, and I'm just now trying to unravel some of the pieces of the Michelle shell puzzle. But yeah, so getting married at the late, in my mid to late 20s, realizing that I had made a terrible mistake, feeling very trapped, very unhappy, and I don't say this lightly, and I don't want to air my business because there is an ex-husband that people know, and this is public, so it's like it was a very wise decision on my behalf to leave the marriage. I don't promote divorce. I actually, biblically speaking, which I do believe the Bible, I broke a bond and a union that was never intended to be broken. And I think that one break created this life of lack of commitment. Wow, I've never thought about it before until I just spoke about it right now. So, very interesting. I think I'm going to learn a lot about myself in this 365 days. Hopefully, somebody's relating to me and they're not just looking at me like, wow, she's got some stuff to work through. Anyway, don't we all though? Yeah, so divorce, late 20s, and then fell in love with the next guy I dated, absolutely fell in love with him, but I was a train wreck after the divorce, and he was so ready to get married, and I so was not. I was freaked out about the terrible decision that I had made, and again, didn't complete a commitment with him. I don't think I have regrets in any way. I just can see, looking back, how my life could be different now, had I made a commitment to that person. But I don't know. I had to grow up. Come on, don't we all have to grow up? Don't you want to be a whole person when you go into a marriage? And thankfully, by the time I met my now husband, I am a whole person, and I give freely in that relationship, and I set proper boundaries in that relationship, and I love openly and abundantly and without abandon, and I hold nothing back, and with that, and because of that, I do believe that my husband is the beneficiary of a whole lot of love, a whole lot of passion, and sometimes discussions that he doesn't necessarily like while I'm setting boundaries. But I encourage the same from him, and I think because of that, he loves me openly, and so we have a lot of love in our marriage and a lot of mutual respect. But it doesn't mean that it's perfect. I mean, we have had our disagreements, and some of them have been quite, they can be intense when you disagree. It doesn't mean it's an argument, it's more like an intense disagreement on how we approach things. But we have decided a long time ago to protect each other and try to keep that within our four walls and keep that to ourselves as we work through any issues that may arise in order to protect the marriage. We don't speak ill of each other to anybody outside of our marriage. It doesn't help anyway, so, and there's nothing more than I literally find zero respect in a human being that is bashing their husband or their wife to me. I find it to be sad, and I find it to be disheartening that the poor person that's not standing in front of the situation can't defend themselves, but are also being dishonored in a way that I truly believe you're stepping out of your marriage when you are complaining about your husband to another human being. Now, I'm not saying, if you're in a bad relationship, and Patty is complaining that Joe never takes out the garbage on time, and Joe does this and Joe does that. I just think that Patty becomes the nagging wife, and she might have great points, and he might be doing something that absolutely bothers her, but unless she's talking to him about it, it's not going to be fixed, number one, and it just makes her sound more like a nagging person, or him sound like a nagging person, and it just doesn't fix anything. So it's like, I like to solve problems, and I like to see resolution, so I just go straight to the source. My husband may not always appreciate that in the moment, but I think he always appreciates that long term. So yeah, I'm just talking on. I'm looking at a lot of traffic right now. It's not so bad, but it's pretty congested. Heading down this highway, trying to get over to the other side of Florida right now. So where are you guys? If you're watching, let me know who's watching. Tell me where you live. I live in sunny Florida. It's not so sunny today. It's supposed to rain in a little bit. And I'll be driving through some of it. So I just wanted to very safely record this video for you guys so I could complete my commitment to myself today. So don't worry, I've got you safely and securely on my dashboard, with this tripod that's like this octopus looking thing that suctions. It's pretty cool, actually. Anyway, so I think I'm gonna be wrapping it up for today, but I just want to leave you with this. There's nothing wrong with having fear attack you. Where we go wrong is when we start to own that fear. And I just encourage you today, if you're owning something that's creating a fear in you, I really would love to see you do something small just to step through it. I have a friend that doesn't care for flying, and she'll fly to see me once a year, and has done so since I left my hometown, and she'll fly by herself, and I'm so proud of her. And she's also painfully shy, like still, and she'll, she works and navigates her way through an airport by herself. She gets on the plane by herself, and she has such a great time, and she's decided that the reward of flying, or the reward of getting to her destination through a flight, far outweighs her discomfort in being in an airport by herself and flying by herself. And so those are the things that I'm speaking to. So tell me something that you're afraid of that you might want me to pray for you on, whether or not you want me to pray you through that, or just encourage you, tell me what you're afraid of that you've already pushed through in spite of it. And you can still be afraid of it. Fear's a liar, remember that, but you're pushing through it, so you're saying no to that lie, so that's good. And eventually, if you do it long enough and such, you won't, I would hope that it's going to reduce the fear. Although I did ski quite a bit, and I was still afraid of falling down and dying, so I guess it doesn't always work out that way. Let's be human and be real with each other, right? But tell me something that you're afraid of. Or just tell me that you're working through something. You don't even have to tell me what it is. Just say, yeah, I'm working through something I'm afraid of. I mean, let's be there for each other. Let's connect. Anxiety is a booger. And I really think that a lot of us feel it even more after what 2020 brought to our world. And I think something that came out of that is that a good thing that came out of that is that we're more willing to talk about it now, and we're not bearing the brunt of it on our own. And I think that that's wonderful. I certainly want other people to understand when I'm being anxious, because man, when I'm anxious, can I be awkward. I can say some really dumb things, not mean things, just dumb things. I can kind of come across as a total dork at times when I'm being awkward. And the times that I'm being most awkward is when I am anxious about a situation. So there you have it. I hope you have a great day. It's been great sitting here talking through this camera to you. I'm imagining you guys listening to this. I hope you're finding it interesting. I hope you're connecting. And I hope you will respond and let me know how your day is going and what you're working through. All right, now I am going to be saying bye-bye for now, and love you guys.